My dear friends, in today's gospel, Jesus is in fact being questioned. The authority of Jesus is being questioned by some of the disciples of John the Baptist and the Pharisees. Because Jesus was also baptizing across the Jordan. The disciples of John the Baptist were literally grieved because many more were going to Jesus than they were coming to John. Now, for them, it was difficult to grasp because Jesus himself got baptized by John, and now he has started baptizing, and many are going to John rather than coming to Jesus. So their teacher is being underestimated or undermined. This was an objection that was there in the minds of the disciples of John the Baptist. How does John respond to that? John says, he must increase and I must decrease. No man can do anything unless it is given to him from above. So there are two things that John the Baptist says here. Firstly, the authority of Jesus and the mission of Jesus is not earthly, it is heavenly. It comes from heaven. So it is the mandate of heaven that Jesus is baptizing. Therefore, the authority of Jesus is being highlighted by John the Baptist. And the next statement he makes is, he must increase and I must decrease. That is an iconic statement, in fact. John says, I've come only to pave the way for him. Now that I have shown him to the world, I've paved the way for him. My role is not significant anymore, and it's time for me to withdraw. It's time for me to quit the scene. Now it's all centered around him. Look how John presents his mission and how John presents his own responsibility in spreading the gospel and paving the way for Jesus Christ. My dear brothers and sisters, we need to grasp this message for our personal lives. Because very often, sometimes we feel that I've done a lot for this institution. I've done a lot for these people. I've done a lot for this church. I've done a lot for my relatives and friends and neighbors. But they don't recognize me. Well, they have made use of the gifts and the chances that I've given them, but they don't value me anymore. It's like I have been disappearing from the scene. Well, if they have made that choice for you, I think we must silently disappear. We should not cling on. That's what John the Baptist is literally doing. He had a role to play in the life of Jesus, in the initial ministry of Jesus. He played that role, and now he's departing from the scene. His presence is no more needed. We need to come to that realization. And when we are capable to realize that, we will be at peace. Because very often we are not capable to realize that, and we are at conflict with ourselves. Therefore, this conflict of interests and desires will put us in a tough spot. My dear friends, we need to move past that. We need to move past that. We need to be strong. If we are meant to disappear, let us disappear silently without making a commotion. If we are meant to stay away, let us learn to stay away without crying or making noise. In that way, we are handling the crisis of our lives gracefully, graciously. And God will reward us for that. Just as Jesus said about John the Baptist, there has no man been born greater than John the Baptist. Think about it. That is the reward Jesus gives to a human person, the highest of the rewards. It came because of this attitude of John the Baptist. He must increase, I must decrease. God bless you. Amen.